Hello and welcome to busyworksbeats.com. Today, guys, I'm excited because after years, not months, years of just trying to figure out a way to give you guys a plugin, we have finally figured out a way that I can create a plugin for you guys to enjoy directly from me, no other people involved. Because before I told you guys the story in the other video, my other plugin, the reason it stopped is because of the developer kind of just disappeared. So it's like, you can only do it so much. But now we've taken reins into our own hands, learned our lessons. I want to bring you guys Hercules, my new plugin. And this sound is just, it's fun. Even making this plugin was just fun to listen back to the sounds. So what is Hermes? So if you guys don't know the story, our first plugin was Vintage Fire. I should pull up pictures, but I don't have them on hand. But our first plugin was Vintage Fire. Came out with Studio Linked. I want to thank Evan Groves. He helped me make that plugin. And then that plugin did good. And then I was like, let me make another plugin. And then we made the plugin called Hermes. And long story short, the plugin did so good, I tried to trademark it. And the company called Hermes actually sent a cease and desist about the name Hermes plugin, even though it's in a completely different category. It was a software plugin, and a fashion brand was trying to say that people could confuse the two. So we didn't want to fight that. It was BS, honestly. So I changed the name to Hermes Synth for trademark purposes, and then that didn't go through. And then we changed the name to TBD because I was so fed up with these billion-dollar conglomerates and corporations trying to stomp on the little guy. So I was like, you know what? I'll just change it to TBD. And I kind of not got discouraged, but it was just like so unnecessary. And then we moved forward, and the developer that we had, and I want to thank the audio programmer because he set me up with, you know, the next level of plugins, which was setting up the Hermes plugin. And I worked with, you know, a dude from Microsoft who did the interface initially. And then I worked from another dude who is just a monster at interface design. He's a master. And shout out to him. I think his name is Mike. Forgive me for forgetting his name because he's a great artist. Like, he's super inspiring. And so long story short, guys, years and years and thousands of dollars of research just to get the first plugin called Hermes, and I had to change the name to TBD, and you guys all know the path after that. And then like a year after it came out, the developer was like, you know what? He just decided to focus on his life, which I can't get mad about that, you know, but after paying thousands of dollars, you know, I need a working product. You can't just disappear. So, you know, I was kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. You guys kept asking, you know, why doesn't the installer work, or why can't the sounds work, or something like this? And I couldn't do anything because I didn't have access to the development side of things. So this time around, I know that was a long story. This time, what's Meek Mill's song? Is it called Intro or something like that, where he came out of jail? Hold up, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished? That's why this is called Hercules, because if you know the story of Hercules, it's kind of like Jesus. You know, he goes down to Hades and comes back resurrected. And this is symbolic to me, and I want it to be symbolic to you guys because it shows you that you, as long as you persevere, you can get past the obstacles. And funny enough, at the end of the day, you want to bet on yourself. Yes, we can rely on other people for development and artwork and all this type of stuff, but focus on your own skill set. You always want to be able to do whatever it is that you need done. And then when you get good at it, then you outsource it to somebody else. Unless you have like a ton of money to just keep running through different, you know, experts. I didn't have millions of dollars in capital to just invest in different people and create a whole team. So we had to do it from the ground up. So this represents the producer community. And this plugin, again, is more than a plugin. It's a symbol that you can do it too. And what I mean by whatever it is, it's not necessarily a plugin. It could be, you know, your own courses. It could be your own audience that you build on YouTube or content, whatever you guys are doing, whatever your focus is, you can do it, even if you have setbacks. So this represents a lot to me, and I'm so excited. That's why I sent you guys a free plugin, because I was just so excited to be able to give you the ideas that are in my head. If you don't know me, I'm a sound designer. I know it's a long spiel, but there's so much to tell you guys. I haven't made videos in a long time because I was just focused on getting this plugin out to you guys. I want to thank Amin from Producer Sources. He helped me with this. I want to thank our guy Morris Beats. He was just excited and enthusiastic. I want to thank the audio programmer again for just putting me onto this side of things. I want to thank Evan Groves ultimately because he's really put me onto this side of things. My best friend Jacob, another key player in the sound design compartment. He is now behind Sauceware. If you guys are familiar with Scorch or Octave, he created those ideas and plugins and sounds. Who else do I want to thank? Vulgar Design for just having crazy like graphics that we could use. And who else do I want to thank before I get started? I know I'm forgetting somebody in that mix. Okay, so whoever I forgot professionally, forgive me for that one. Now on to the sound. Okay, so this is, firstly, disclaimer, this plugin is not Omnisphere. If anything, I was inspired by Nexus and Contact, and it'll evolve over time to probably have that type of feel. But as producers, we want dope sounds. So I said, let me just focus on sound. Like the best sounds in here are your bass sounds. Some of the pad sounds are the best in my opinion. And some of the leads are some of my favorites in here. And some of the bells. So once I get to it, we'll get to it. So there's 189 sounds right now. I'm going to evolve this over time. I just wanted to give you guys a working copy. So let's go to the bass. Okay, you got a little West Coast bass. I can literally click any preset and it's fire. Hold on. So the cool thing about sounds that come from a producer, I sound design all these sounds, and we even hunted down some rare synthesizers, me and Jacob, up in Canada, to design some of these sounds. Now the cool part is that these are the sounds that stick out to me as a producer. And so you guys know the sound selection is like 90% of the game. So when you have a sound that sticks out, that's the key. It's not just a bunch of random sounds. Whereas Omnisphere has 10,000 sounds. They're mainly built for like film. Also the retro, depends on the expansions you guys have for Omnisphere, but there's so many sounds that you might not use every sound. This is built for producers and by a producer. So I made sure to get those low octaves for you guys. You can even use your pitch wheel, because I think the complaint before was that the pitch wheel on Hermes you guys can use. This one actually is an active pitch wheel. And let me go to some more pads because I can demonstrate a lot of the features here. So the features that come with this, I wanted to keep it just straightforward and basic. You can add, I don't know how loud that is, but you can add vibrato. So if you turn up the vibrato, I have it set to my favorite vibrato speed so that it's not sounding like super weird. And if you have a smaller, this is a big pad, so it's taking a while to fade. If you have a big sound, you could, or excuse me, a small sound, you could widen out with this button for a little bit extra width. And then we have, you know, the basics, reverb, delay, if you guys need like extra flair. Okay, so it has a long release tail for this pad, so I'll turn that down temporarily. I gave it an attack and release, so if you guys want more like build up on the sound, well, now I know this needs to be fixed because I clearly forgot to do something here. This is why it's called Secret Plugin Test. So this isn't the final version. The final version is probably going to be out by this weekend, so keep an eye out. And it's probably going to be at busyworksbeats.com/Hercules. I didn't make a page for it yet. This is literally just me being excited to finally show you guys a working plugin that, again, and one more tip before I start playing sounds is that you have to find a mentor. Like if it wasn't for Amin, who showed me like small little things about what I was doing to really get this thing working, you know, this wouldn't be. So you got to thank the people who put you on, always remember them, and just be grateful because you guys need mentors who have solved those problems. The only way is really trial and error. And when they figured out the trial and error for you, it's just easier to go with somebody who's already done it. All right, so I need to work on this attack knob. I'm glad I did this video because I would have never known. Okay, so that needs to be fixed. But then we have Monophonic and Glide. So this was a later feature in Hermes. So now you can do leads even with pads. So now you can do really cool stuff here. Let me see how far this goes. I'm pretty sure my pitch range is set to 2. Yeah, so no matter what pitch range you use in FL, 2 is the actual max. I didn't want it on 12 because it was just too dramatic and it sounds fake. But we have monophonic mode, we have glide mode. So I'm just showing you little stuff. Now those features came later in my first plugin, my first series plugin. We have a filter to chop down some of the harmonics. Now notice the sound is quite loud, so you have an output gain. Okay, so you can see that it's not built for sound design, but if you want to tweak the sound to get it where you want it to be, this is what this plugin is built to be. Let me go to a lead sound here because I want to show you guys a new feature, and why it's called Hercules is because I've created a unique section called the strength section. So the strength section is basically a sub that goes underneath whatever the sound is, and then you can thicken up the sound. So let's put it on, like, let's put on, where's the one? Open window. So a lot of the presets already have monophonic on it, so you don't have to set that yourself. So let's say I wanted some kind of bass to that. I could turn up the strength knob, and now it has that sub layer, and I'll turn the octave up. So even if the octave's too low, you can feel that sound getting thicker. Now the voice limit is set to its lowest value because I didn't want the sub to stack up polyphonically, if that's even a word. Meaning, if you were to play a chord with this, I didn't want there to be like 10 bass sounds playing. So this, if you guys do want this for some reason turned up, you just turn this up. If you guys want to layer your chords or whatever the thing is, you could turn that up. I keep it all the way at 1. Okay, so if you turn the strength up, you're gonna get more of that sub signal. I'm gonna turn this down so I don't blow anybody's speakers. Okay, the release time is gonna work. Now, one thing I do need to fix is the release time one here, as you guys can hear that click on that sub. Okay, so I'll probably end up fixing that. So that's a small little thing that I'll tweak. I'm glad I did this on this video because I'm finding out small things. So let's say the sample, some of these samples are detuned on purpose because, again, some of these were sampled from like really rare synths that weren't even tuned to 440, half of them. So let's say you get something that's out of tune. Some of these are also layered tuning, meaning let me pick, where's the one? Let's pick a sawtooth real quick. Something like this sound. So what I want to do is add the sub layer. But let's say I want to, for some reason, detune it to pitch it up or down. This is what the detune is for. Its maximum is set to 1 semitone. It's kind of hard to hear it. Let me see if I go up an octave. I gotta make sure this is fixed too. Okay, this should be changing it, which is not. But this is the test version, so we're gonna blame it on that being a test version because I had to pull it over to my PC and I had to double check on here, and then I had to pull it over to my Mac. So there's some things that went overlooked. So this is a real plugin from a real producer who went through a real struggle getting this plugin to you guys. I wanted to give you the backstory, but also just inspire you guys because these are sounds that we've built, and I have cooler ideas, but let's try to make a beat real quick. Let's see how much time we got. We've been on for what, 15 minutes almost? Darn. Let's see if we can make a beat real quick. I haven't made beats in forever, so let's see what I can even come up with. Let's go to 144, and you will be seeing me make beats a lot with my plugins because now everything works properly. It's called metallic brass. So let's hit Alt Q. Turn this down a little bit. Another thing about my sounds when I sound design, and I'll show you guys part of my sound design process, is my sound design. What I'll do is give it a unique, like if I play a sound soft, it plays one thing. And if I play it harder, it plays a different style of sound. So based on the velocity in which you play, you get a different tone in the sound. So most of my sounds are velocity dynamic, meaning that you guys will get a different style of sound if you play harder or softer on the velocity. And that gives you more of a realistic, or not realistic, but a more interesting sound. So some of these didn't quantize right. I'm just gonna redo this. Okay. Let's not use brass because brass has a delay and that's why it's not quantizing right. Let's use some bells. Let's do this. All right, so let's see what we could do here. Let's hit Alt Q. What I'm gonna do to trapify this, I'm gonna slow it down. Let's say we're gonna right click our tempo, go to half speed. We're gonna add kilohertz, what is it, reverser. I haven't produced in so long, guys. It's been a week, so bear with my melodic skills here. We're gonna reverse these sound and now add these. This is a free plugin, by the way, kilohertz reverser. Let's flip the sound. Let's turn the mix down. All right, now I'm gonna show you guys some crazy stuff. We're gonna open up a new channel in the mixer. We're gonna call this reverb. Let me see which reverb I want to use. Let's just use Fruity Reverb 2 for now. We're gonna set the dry level to 0, wet level, we're gonna reset that. Give it a nice decay curvature. We can cut out the lows for now and widen it out. Nextly, we're gonna add gross beat. And in gross beat, we're gonna go to the presets, momentary, go to half speed, and we're gonna send the sound over to the reverb as a duplicate. So now it's gonna be slowed down reverb. It's gonna widen out the sound. And now I can go back to the plugin and swap out the sounds. Let's try out different sounds. Now, some of these are a lower octave, so let me raise this up. They're wrong. This sounds sinister. Let's try some pads. Now pads are a little bit different because all these aren't built the same. Like some pads you could just hit one key and it will play like multiple notes. So some aren't built for multiple notes. This might be even too much pad. Let's all right, now let's add a bass layer. So I was just trying to see how far we could take that. So again, it won't be called Secret Plugin 5. That was just me working on stuff. So let's add a nice bass layer. So the bass is really good in this plugin. And it's West Coast bass. It's just a really good bass plugin. I'm just gonna go through different ones. Let's record this. All right, so now the bass is just there to make the sound bigger. Let's pull this over. Let's hit, I don't want to hit Alt Q because that'll mess up some of the slur notes. Let's turn down this pad for a second. Okay, so for this one, it kept up with the velocity. Let's hit Alt, left click. I don't want the velocity to change on the bass. I just realized FL Studio, I forgot to record my velocity at flat. Now let's add a lead in here, like a top line type sound. So to get sound started, you click on the core library and there's different styles of sounds. I call these categories, and we're going to click on bell, and let's do something different. Let's try this. All right, we got the top line, we got the bass, we got the chords. Let's see if we can add some rhythm in here using some drums. So I'm gonna go through my drums and see if we can find a bop. Up the BPM a little bit. I don't know how it works when you have time. Let me see what what it looks like. Oh, it even works? Okay, it's halftime. Okay, interesting. So usually I don't produce at slow BPMs, so this is new to me. So I want to go 1, 2, 3. So I gotta get super zoomed in. We gotta go past the quarter mark. This is why I don't use regular tempos, because you gotta go all the way down to like the lowest segment, and it's really hard to look at a grid like this. So that's why I keep my BPMs higher. I don't know how y'all produce on those grids like that. I'm gonna be a little repetitive with the drums. I'm just trying to hear what the drums sound like with this beat. This is actually going super hard. I'm going to take my time and actually finish the idea at least. Now I'm not going to sit here for an hour and perfect everything about the beat. It would just eat up an unnecessary amount of time, but I'll show you guys a couple plugins I would use on this. Also, I need a snare. I need a hard snare. Let's go for Metro's kit. It's been a while since I made beats, y'all. It's been like probably 2 weeks since I made like a beat. Let's do Metro. Shout out Metro being even more famous after the Drake Kendrick thing. Not used to this regular tempo stuff. Let me up the BPM because it's really hard for me to think at this low of a BPM. super, super rough mix. I might drop the bass down an octave. Let's see. That's too muddy in certain areas. Since the bass has a lot of harmonics, let's use that cutoff. That little vibe. All right, so the bass we used, and I'll give you guys these project files for free. It won't come with the plugin, but you'll get the preset for the time when you do get the plugin. So here we have core library, the bass, and it's called Dark Side. And the pad we use is called Bel Air from the pads. And then the bell that I use is called Magnum from the bells. So that is, I make dope beats. I didn't expect to make a whole beat, but that's how you do it. So shout out to everybody in the chat. And shout out to Hercules coming out. So it'll be officially available soon enough. I want to get it done by the end of the month so that you guys could have it. And it won't be free. I can't give it out for free. It took way too much stuff behind the scenes to get this. So it can't be free. But I'll put a decent price on it for you guys. I'll see you guys soon enough. Peace.